Secretary of State Michael Watson, good morning, sir. How are you?
Man, I'm well, Paul. How are you, my friend?
Good. As of Sunday, we had around 250,000 absentee ballots have been requested. 247,650 absentee ballots were sent, and I think you guys have received 231. That was Sunday. I'm not sure what the total is now, but what's it look like?
Yeah, that number is up. The received number is up. Obviously, we run those numbers every day.
Mm-hmm.
But we're excited. I think that predicts a great turnout today. As I've been getting calls and text messages starting at 6 o'clock this morning with issues around the state. Nothing major, but obviously on the coast we had some issues with the hurricane and getting power back to our precincts. So all of those, with the exception of 2, are powered up. We've got generators on both of those, so we're good to go on the coast. I've been seeing long pictures of long lines, so I'm excited about Mississippians that are fired up to go vote today and should have a great turnout.
Tell me some of the protocol that the Secretary of State has at least requested for the poll workers all across the state, as far as COVID's concerned.
Sure. We put out our administrative rules and basically said, listen, poll managers, wear your masks.
Mm-hmm.
That is a rule from our office. We've given them masks and gloves and face shields, and all of the voters that go to Mississippi polls today will receive a pen or a stylus, depending on what type of machine you vote on. The legislature gave us additional monies for more poll managers to wipe down the tables, the doorknobs, the machines. It's going to be a safe experience. Obviously, we've got social distancing in place, and if a precinct is small, we're going to limit the number of folks that could be at the precinct at once. So we've thought of all those measures to make sure that it's safe for Mississippians to go vote. And again, I'm excited about today. We've put in a lot of preparation, and it's going to show today that we have put the time in.
So I guess what you're saying is that the lines outside are going to be normally longer because you can't put that many people in line on the inside.
That's right, Paul. And again, the social distancing measures, obviously making sure that people are spacing out properly. The lines are going to look a little bit longer than normal.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Mississippi, historically, we've not had any issues with folks not being able to vote, and I don't expect that to be the case today. So our poll managers are trained. I cut a video, actually, to shoot to them yesterday as a reminder of some quick things they need to know about today as they go to work the polls. So we've done the training. We've done again, prepared all of our circuit clerks and our poll managers and our elections commissioners. We've got a great team here in Mississippi and excited about today.
The any problems that you know about this morning across the state?
We had one on the coast, Coast Electric, our great friends. And by the way,
yeah.
our electric people have been so good to us, making sure that our precincts are back online. But we had one, they had to power a precinct down to pull a wire to another issue that they had. And so our circuit clerk was pulling her hair out down there, but they flipped the power right back on. So that's the only one we heard of. Last night in George County, one of the fire trucks hit one of the beams in one of the locations there. So we had to get that repaired. But again, some minor issues, but the circuit clerks and electric power folks and Mississippi Power have been so good to respond to these quickly. And Paul, by the way, because of the hurricane, some of our circuit clerks did not have power in the courthouses this weekend, but they were down there working anyway to make sure Mississippians could go absentee vote. And I just want to say a special thanks to that group.
Yeah. Explain to us how these absentees are going to be counted, when they're going to be counted, where they're going to be counted.
Yeah, so good question, Paul. And in 1521, that the legislature decided to change the rules on that, and this is another point about our circuit clerks. They're having to do this with a different set of rules with COVID and with the hurricane. So, again, very thankful for that team. But when the poll managers today, actually, the resolution board, each county will name a time specific for them to start their work. They can start as early as 7 a.m., but they will go through the process of looking at all of these absentee votes that were cast. So they'll look at the envelopes, make sure the signatures are across the flat, make sure all the laws are followed, and then they will start the process of accepting or rejecting them. They will not be counted, Paul, until 7 p.m. So at 7 p.m. they can start scanning those to count them, but that's kind of the process today.
If there is a conflict, will you have poll watchers from poll watchers? Will you have people or representatives from both parties there if there's any contesting going on?
It is a public event, so that's why they had to say a time specific so people would know when they could go down and watch the process. It is open to the public, and we will have poll watchers there. And again, I encourage everyone to be courteous and kind.
Michael, if anybody gets in there and they say, well, you're not registered, you can't vote here, or you must be at another location, if they have a problem voting, from that, or maybe they did not bring their any form of identification, what's your suggestion there?
Yeah, and great point there. If you forget your voter ID, obviously you can vote by affidavit. Now, you have to come back in and show your ID within 5 days to the circuit clerk for your vote to count. If there are any questions, you can certainly request to vote by affidavit ballot. We have told our poll managers if folks are not on the rolls there and perhaps they came to the wrong precinct, to encourage them to go back to the precinct where they are supposed to vote. So a couple of different mechanisms there, but I encourage all Mississippians to go to y'allvote.ms. We have a poll locator there. If you cannot find your address, which you should be able to, but if you cannot find the address, you always have the opportunity to call your circuit clerk or your election commissioner just as a backup plan. And we've encouraged folks to educate themselves before they go to the polls, and that's part of it, Paul, making sure you know where you're supposed to go vote.
On this other ballot issue, of course, now we also need to mention to you the flag is also on there, but this new, this other, what is it, 42 or what is it? I'm trying to...
47.
47.
Yes, sir.
Would you explain that real quick to some people, because I've got some notes here. People are a little confused on that one.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of questions about that here lately, and obviously we've been sharing as much news and information as possible leading up to the election today. But 47 deals with how we select our statewide elected officials. Under the current system, basically, if you're running a statewide office, and there's obviously 8 statewides, governor on down to insurance commissioner, you name it. But if you're running statewide, you have to win a majority of the vote as well as a majority of the House districts. So they look at the 122 different House districts and they see how that district voted, and that goes into the column of the individual that won the majority in that district. So if you do not get both of those or meet both of those hurdles, then the House of Representatives would vote. So that's the current system. It happened last in 1999 with Ronnie Musgrove, and many people remember this, but there were 61-61 in the House, and when they voted, I believe it was 25 that left their district's wishes and voted for Ronnie Musgrove. So many people have referred to this as the Electoral College, but there is no faithful elector clause, so they can flip their votes as easy as they do day in and day out. But that said, the new system would be you would have to win a majority. So if there were 3 candidates in there and a candidate did not receive 50 plus 1% of the vote, there would be a runoff of the top 2 candidates.
So therefore, you'd have to vote yes for that to happen, right?
That's correct. You would vote yes on Measure 47 to move to the new system. And, Paul, 47 states have popular vote mechanisms. We are one of only 3 that do not have that, and our new system would move towards what Georgia does. So that has been tried before and has worked. Okay,
let me ask you this. Being an esteemed lawyer, I'm sure you can answer this without even thinking. If I wore my mask, which I will do as I vote, and my mask happens to be the one given to me during the hobnob, it has a Mississippi flag on it. Am I violating anything?
You are. You cannot wear campaign paraphernalia into the precinct. And Paul, by the way, I felt like I was dressing up for a hearing this morning. I was so excited and ready to get to the courthouse and remembered it was an election.
So if you wear the Mississippi flag on there, you can't do that. You'd have to either come back or get another mask.
That's right. Anything that's on the ballot, and that is narrowly construed. So, folks have asked a lot of those questions, but that's narrowly construed.
Got to go generic, baby.
Generic map or mask is what you need. The judges, you got 2 judges, Kenny Griffith and Latrice Westbrook. Kenny is the guy who is the, I guess he's the incumbent. Yeah, he's the incumbent, of course. In this one, and I know you can't say anything about this, but Kenny Griffith was the one appointed by the Republican governor. And, of course, Josiah Dennis Coleman also is the incumbent and also appointed by a Republican governor. Am I right about that?
You're right about that.
That's all I'll say about it. Michael, thank you, sir. Appreciate it very much.
You got it, my friend.
Take care.
Yes, sir.